Hey there, okay, and welcome to another laser review. And I just got done at a theater seeing this film called Breaking, and it stars John Boyega and the late Michael K. Williams. If you don't know the name Michael K. Williams, he got pretty big on The Wire, and unfortunately, a year ago, some stuff happened with some substance issues, and not important, but the guy was a fantastic actor, and rest in peace. But real quick, making some Jack Apple and some cranberry juice as always, and well, what is Breaking about? What's going on? Did I like it? Before I do my intro, basically, I seen the trailer a month ago and I was curious about this. I think some of the marketing's kind of off because the posters say, oh, this is a modern day Dog Day afternoon. And I'm like, I wouldn't call this a modern day Dog Day afternoon. But what is the premise? What's going on? Did I like it? I definitely have some mixed feelings about it. And let me pour this drink here and I'll tell you guys my thoughts and my laser review on the film called Breaking. Wow, that's some good cranberry and Jack Apple. Okay, so why do I have mixed feelings about this? What is the premise of this film? Should you go out and see it? Well, John Boyega, I think, is a fantastic actor. He's been in some good films besides just the Star Wars curse of like spending the rest of his life being stuck as Finn. And he plays a character that's a former Marine veteran that is called Brian Brown Easley. And Brian, well, he's a man that's desperate. He's down on his luck. And this is something that, the military doesn't like to talk about that often. And I've talked to friends of mine who are veterans and stuff, is that sometimes the military messes up. These guys don't give these guys the money that they're owed. They don't give them the proper medical benefits that they deserve, or sometimes they need. And truth be told, this is not anywhere near a political message, but it just, you wonder why situations like this don't happen more often, because this happens a lot more often than people want to talk about. So this character is, he's owed money, he's facing homelessness, he's living out of a hotel. He wants to do more for his daughter, and he can. So what happens? The man gets desperate. He goes into a bank, and he has a note. He tells one of the tellers that, I have a bomb in my book bag, and I'm going to blow the place up unless my demands are met.
Nobody gets hurt. I have a bomb, and I'm going to kill myself and everybody in here. My demands, and I'm met.
It's very hard to talk about this without talking about the spoilers, about the real-life tragedy of what happens to Brian, but it definitely is a tragedy, and again, I don't want to ruin it. And, well, this is a character that said he's broken, he's desperate. John Boyega plays a very good job of a character that's just a man at the end of his rope.
I'm at the end of my rope.
You understand his situation. You want to root for this guy. And because also he has morals, he's not there to hurt people. He's not there to steal money from the bank.
I don't want the bank's money.
He just wants what's owed to him. And that's even more of these moral questions we go by is like, how much is a person's life worth? What is a person worth? And how hard is it for the simple, like the VA or any organization, just to make a simple wire transfer? How hard is it to make a simple phone call? How hard is it to just make simple things that can make people's lives better? And you get this constant feeling from this movie that,
no, I need everybody to see what's happening here. I need the fire trucks. I need the news.
People just don't care. And, it's like Michael Williams is in the film, but he's not in the film a lot. And that's part of, like, for me, my mixed review on this, because I felt like the interactions between him and John Boyega are really good, but there's not a lot of them. And, as I'm watching this, you can't help but compare stuff like, for Inside Man. And you can't help, like, real life stories like American Sniper or like Richard Jewell. These were, at least the last two, they were made by Clint Eastwood and they were based on real life characters. And there's something about the storytelling and the directing where, like, I'm at the edge of my seat. I want to see what's going to happen. And this, for being a basically bank heist, I wasn't as gripped as I felt I should have been. Yes, there's a strong message there. Yes, there's a real life story that was tragic, but like something about this just didn't have me engaged or as much as engaged as I felt I should be. I felt like there was very long like pauses and there's very long parts like nothing is going on. Almost to the point where it almost felt like a dark comedy, just in a sense where, a man goes into a bank, right? He supposedly has a bomb. He's about to blow the place up. And, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours goes by. There's no news articles. No one's talking about that. Where the fuck is the FBI? Where are the cops? He's sitting there with a live bomb for a long period of time and just nobody cares. It's almost like, damn, is there a point I'm missing and shit? And that's the problem that I have. The problem that, walking out with my son even is just that I think it's a very good story to tell. But a very good story to tell doesn't always make the best movie. It's like the movie clocks in at 1 hour and 45 minutes and it feels it. And that's the thing is, some movies feel their time, some movies don't feel their time. I recently just went to go see in RPX, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. 3.5 hours, we all walk out and like, wow, 3.5 hours? We thought it was like a 10-minute movie. You're so engaged, there's so much going on. This one, comparing this to like Inside Man, comparing this to like Dog Day Afternoon, I just felt like I wasn't engaged, and that's my problem.
I needed more excitement!
It is a tragedy, no doubt, but like...
Too long!
Something that's an hour and 45 minutes, but it should have been like a 45-minute episode of a TV show.
It's just not enough.
I was rooting for John Boyega. I was sympathetic. I understood where he was coming from, and I felt bad at the end of what happens.
It's very, very sad.
I would wait for Redbox, and it's not something I would pay to go out in theaters.
You should stay at home.
The beginning is good, the ending is good and very tragic, but the middle is just like, I would have been, if I was at home, I felt like I would have been fast forwarding through a lot of this.
Fast forward. Fast forward.
If you miss this movie, I feel like you're not missing much. Like almost, you can Google the events and Google the book that's based on and Google the history of what happens to this character more than an engaging film. And that's just my honesty. So
I'm just being honest.
I can't do a big review because it's a very simple film. You know, a desperate man goes into a bank, tragedy happens.
There's not much more to tell than that.
If this offends somebody, if John Boyega wins an Oscar or something, who knows?
He was making out like he won an Oscar.
This dialogue and this premise and this pacing, it just wasn't for me.
Until next time.
Give me 1 second and let me just pull up Bender, but okay.
This calls for a drink.
Good Jack and Cranberry, but I'm heading back to work.